Welcome to the UKLC patch 9.14 breakdown. I'm Hitbrain and I'm here to run through a few of the changes on this patch and how they might affect the UKLC and also your solo queue games. Now, there's a lot of changes this patch, so we're going to pick up on a few of the big ones and how we think they will affect the UK scene the most. First up is Cassiopeia. Besides a few stat changes, the major difference to the 9.14 Snake Lady is her miasma has now had its minimum cast range removed. This means dealing with bruisers and assassins is much easier for her. On top of that, the mana cost on her Twin Fangs has been evened out and the healing has been buffed considerably, allowing her once again to be the late game threat she aspires to be. Poppy has received some changes. Her steadfast presence now not only stops a dashing ability, but will ground and slow the target for 2 seconds. A big change considering how prevalent mobility is right now. Aatrox will no longer be able to earn his revival with World End up. He has received some minor buffs to compensate for this, and although this seems like a major change, we expect to still see him destroying team fights, now with a little less safety if all things go wrong. Akali has been hard to punish for a long time. Her Twilight Shroud makes her invisible and not obscured, which allows true sight effects to reveal her. She has also had her ult cooldown raised, and in return she's received an AP ratio on her Shuriken flip and some stat buffs across the board, which means she'll be an even higher priority target for shutting down, but will be easier to do so. Lux has been a stable blind pick for the last few patches. With Aftershock and Prismatic Barrier, she's felt nearly impossible to kill. Her Light Binding cooldown has been extended until rank 4, and her shield has lost its duration and a third of its flat strength. She's also lost the cooldown refund mechanic on her final spark in return for a buffed AP ratio scaling and a shorter CD at higher levels. A lot of nerfs mean we won't be seeing her every game, but we do still expect to see her show up on occasion. Pyke is even more feast or famine. His ult does 50% reduced damage when it doesn't execute, but if he manages to land it, he'll get an extra cut for himself on top of the previous gold allocations. Pyke can now snowball super hard with a ton of gold. As a few of the supports that builds damage, this will really allow him to pop off. Swain hasn't been seen for a little while and received a range of changes. His passive now allows him to permanently store soul fragments, increasing his match HP by 5. He also gets his mana back when he picks them up. His Q has had its cooldown increased and its range reduced, but in return, it now goes through the minions, allowing him greater wave clear. His ult can now be cast at any point. Instead of being reliant on soul fragments, it's based on the amount of health drained. Overall, these changes may allow him to return in the mid game because he'll be super bulky and his ultimate will be a lot more usable. Sylas has had some decent buffs to his chain lash damage, but in return, the stun on his Abscond and Abduct has been reduced, as well as his shield being on the first cast and only blocking magic damage. His ult has been toned down with lower AD ratios and longer cooldown at rank 3. It's gone from 15 seconds to 60. Sylas is a highly contested jungler at the moment, and this is a big hit to his late game. However, we do still think he'll be getting picked up consistently. Tom has had a myriad of changes. The main points are that his thick skin is weaker at blocking damage, his Devour won't stun you when he spits you out for 0.25 seconds, and your Q has a smaller melee hitbox and a weaker but longer slow, and also stunning consumes all of his passive stacks. The compensation is he can now consume red and blue buffs, so maybe we'll see some shenanigans when he gets picked up. Yumi's passive has been nerfed not to give her mana back, as well as her Prowling Projectile doing less damage early. She has had her heal mana cost reduced, and the healing is higher when the target is low HP. And finally, Galio, well, let's just say we won't be seeing him around here anymore. Last week on the UKLC, we saw Fnatic successfully hold their tower spot versus XL, forcing our first tower rematch of the entire summer split so far. We've seen another stellar week coming out from Eminem and Diabolus, and as we approach week 4, that crucial halfway mark is all to play for every team in the UKLC. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UK League Championship. My name is Jake Hipbrain Matthews. I'm joined by Dan Orcs Harrison as we kick it off at week 4, the halfway mark. We are almost there. By almost, I mean we're halfway there.
It's not really almost.
It's not even remotely close.
Okay, whatever. You know, it's just your job to speak, but
I mean, we all saw the little video that was put up of me going, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, UKLC. At least you didn't say that again. So.
Well, we've had a few little changes here. We now actually have a screen so we can see Twitch chat, which is nice. So we'll be able to kind of interact with all of you guys at home, which would be cool.
Yeah, so if you make any comments in Twitch chat, we can actually read them. So if you say anything mean, it will directly hit our feelings. Maybe you'll catch the expression we make as you read it. We'll look down, we'll see something harsh and go, oh.
They're actually making it bigger so we can see everything that's going on. Anyway, if you want to get involved in the conversation without using Twitch chat and you want to get your tweets put up maybe, you can actually head over to our Twitter at LVPUK. Make sure you use the hashtag UKLC, otherwise we can't actually feature you on the stream. I don't know, the guy who made the algorithm that looks it up is Lee. You can blame him on that one, but make sure that you do use that hashtag UKLC. He can get your tweets, slap them up on the stream, and we can get you guys involved in the conversation. That's what it's about.
Yeah, you can tweet memes, you can tweet funny stuff, you can tweet whatever you want. If it's appropriate, we will potentially feature you. There's no guarantee.
What? I'll start it off. I want everyone, make sure you use that hashtag so I can actually see it. But I was asking everyone in the studio, would you rather be permanently 13 years old or would you permanently be 70 years old? Which one would you rather be? I went for 13 because then you have that childish wonder forever. You can kind of just play Pokemon all day.
Plus your maturity wouldn't change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't change at all. I think you said 70 because you're an old man.
Yeah, I mean, trapped as a 13-year-old forever would probably be, you know, akin to hell.
Well, I mean, that and the back pain you'd have from being 70. But if you want to come actually see our grand finals and not just talk to us about ages, do make sure you pick up some tickets for our grand finals, which we announced last week over at Twickenham. On the 1st of September, we'll be doing our grand finals between our top teams here in the UK. If you want to get your tickets, head over to uklc.gg/tickets. Tickets with an S if you want to get your hands on some tickets. I believe they're a £5.
Yeah, they are £5. So pretty reasonably priced. There will be some booths available from your favorite teams. There'll be a chance to have some giveaways, some goodies. It's going to be a whole event, not just a final. So if you feel like swinging down, then go ahead.
Come see the old man himself.
And the small boy who somehow managed to find his way into a casting career.
It's that childish energy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look at Unsung Hero coming out of last week. It was the man, Wisdom. This guy looked incredible. Feeling support, looking really, really good.
Yeah, just the Alistar was the main thing. The fact that they went up against the likes of Fionin and made his life an absolute hell on that pick was really impressive. I like the way that Phelan drafted around making their bot lane have a strong matchup. But the way Wisdom capitalized on that was just really stellar. And I'm excited to see more of him in this week.
Yeah, I think this guy's kind of he's been a bit of a sleeper hit, really. And I think he's getting that Unsung Hero from everyone at home. But also, like, I think it was well deserved. Like you said, the Alistar was really, really sick. I do want to just note, because it's distracting, but Twitch chat are all agreeing with me, 13. Why would you not want to be a kid forever?
No, someone did say 70 close to the end, so.
But you're stuck. So you're just stuck in that tipping point, but you're not there. Incredible week coming out from Wisdom, though. You're just a little lost in the
I'm just looking. Chat. Worst question ever.
We're not used to this.
About 13 or 17, please. No one wants 70. I'd been 13. I mean, you'd be stuck in that phase of your life where you're in the blunder phase. And I can guarantee if we go back to your Facebook,
I mean, I'm 26 and I'm still in the blunder phase. Yeah, so let's have a little look at the bracket for this week and see how everything will be shaping out. So we'll be starting off the day with our tower rematch between XL and Fnatic Rising, because XL were unable to take Fnatic out. And then after that, we'll be starting up with game 2, starting our normal round of 8 Diabolus versus Envision, Eminem versus the loser of the tower rematch between XL and Fnatic Rising. Then we'll have Barrage versus Envision, and then Phelan versus Demise.
Yeah, a lot of good matches. Big one for me is Barrage against Envision, both currently sitting at 0 points. This is the chance for one of them to get on the board, but I know both teams will give it their absolute all. And I think we've seen a lot of potential, particularly from Envision last week. A lot of people just thought they would get wiped out instantly, but they put up a pretty solid fight against Eminem. Even got a massive lead. I think they got 4 kills in like 4 minutes, and it looked pretty doomed, but Eminem managed to bounce back in the end.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, like I said, we're at that halfway mark. It's really do or die. It is the time for these teams to step up, because otherwise you're looking at potential relegations and at least having a fight for your spot in the UKLC. So for these two teams, that is going to be a really exciting match because it's the springboard into the season. It kind of kicks everything off. And let's have a little look at our predictions because I don't want to look at the predictions because I was winning last week. Twitter, you guys are like turbo-inting it. Our guest currently is leading. We have Ollie Shouts in this week as our guest. Saga did say last week that Ollie's probably going to int it. And that doesn't fill me with confidence because like we agree on a few things here.
It's going to be difficult for him to int it that hard because, I mean, he could definitely lose first place, absolutely, to either me or you. Or, no, I don't know. He could only tie with Twitter. Actually, no, yeah. No, he could actually lose first place to Twitter. It is possible. It is feasible.
Well,
so that would be a big upset.
If you think Ollie is going to int the prediction game and just... take a dump on the Chronicler and Saga's Legacy and Greyhearts as well.
Feel free to tweet your predictions. And if you get them all right, we may feature your tweet on the show and just applaud how great of an
You're making promises we got back.
I said May. I said May. I'm not tied to this. But maybe. Potentially. It could happen.
All right, well, let's actually get it going because we've got 5 games coming up today, so it's a bit of a longer one. We'll be starting off with our tower rematch between Fnatic Rising and XL UK. This was an interesting match last week. XL had a really solid start, and Prosper really called them out in the interview, and he went, they didn't know how to win. They didn't know how to close, and we just went, well, they're just giving us free time. So he just sat back and farmed, and it worked for Fnatic.
Fnatic picked a scaling composition. They really just underperformed in the early game. I mean, you can say XL played very well, but it was both sides. XL taken and Fnatic just given, and then eventually Fnatic went, wait, this isn't how we win the game. They probably can't end. Well, no, it wasn't probably can't end. NG straight up said, these guys can't end. Let's just scale up a bit. They did, and they ended up winning. So, and then the fact that they called them out afterwards, it is a big hit going over to XL. I would take that personally.
And I mean, XL were desperation looking for fights. The fights felt so forced and not needed as well. You know, there were 2, I believe, mid lane, where they just constantly look for the fights onto Fnatic, and Fnatic just disengage, then it would either turn the fight in their favor or just leave XL kind of scratching and not wanting what to do.
The first one, they jumped on XMI, and they just got away with 3 members really low HP, but no one from either side died. And it was sort of like, wow, that was risky. We managed to get away, but I don't think we should do that again. But then they just did it again, and then they ended up all dying, and I was like, it's not really the play.
And actually, we can have a little look at the gold graph from that tower rematch and see how much they were behind. XL were completely destroying Fnatic on the gold graph. Okay, so that's meant to be the Mariana Trench in the background. It doesn't show it, but that's what's meant to be going on there. It's just, it looks like a picture of Mars.
I don't know. Why did we use that graphic?
The players themselves looked out of this world. They just look so disconnected from what they needed to be doing in that game. Yes. But yeah, as you could see briefly before, we just had to get it. It was so shameful. We put it up and went.
They looked as disconnected as that graphic did because there was an idea, there's a concept. Basically, we had a discussion. We're like, wow. So the gold graph obviously looks like a big deep trench. Why don't we compare that to how you have this sideways on Mariana Trench? Where you look at how it dips, and I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty funny. And then somehow we ended up with that. I don't know.
Let's move on. Have a little look at XL. As our first team coming up on the blue side, XL UK is going to be starting up with Sendo in the top lane, Taxo in the jungle, Exile in the mid lane, Hyun and ADC and Kasing as support.
Yeah, so pretty stacked roster. They have switched out the mid laners over to Fnatic Rising with Shikari in the top lane, NG in the jungle, Magi Felix back from the LEC, and then X-Maddie and Prosper in the bot lane.
And I feel like, actually, with the fact that we're seeing XL bring Exile in as well, we saw him a lot last season in the UKLC, but he's been off of the LEC team doing a lot of work over there. But now we actually have a look at his kind of history as a player, because in the UKLC, he didn't actually really perform all that well. It was underwhelming.
Yes, and the caveat I will say to that is neither did Kasing. So last split, Kasing didn't look that great, and this split, he's looked stellar. So it could be a similar situation where they've decided to put XL in. I believe that XL, we asked them and they said it was a strategical reason they put him in, so I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Ronaldo obviously had a great game on Corki, but he was essentially just farming up to be a monster late. the fact that brought Magic Felix back, I'll be interested to see how he does play, because obviously he's always been a standout member of this Fnatic Rising roster.
Well, while the mid lane has been exciting to watch and the bot lane has been exciting to watch, it's all about the top lane as our matchup to watch, because the most improved player for me, personally on XL, is Sendo. We had questions about him coming into the split, but actually he's really stepped up. He's really looked like a well-oiled part of the machine that has been XL UK.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that he looked rough in every season he's been in the UK. There's been moments you've asked what you're really doing, but his Gnar, in particular last week, was stellar and was a big reason why they got so far. Unfortunately, he wasn't enough to bring them over the line, but I think if he keeps stepping up his performances, I think he will be able to challenge Jakari to be the top in the UK.
Top. I mean, it's a bold move. He's got to do a lot to be able to get there, because
Ban Kennen is a first.
Ban Kennen, but I'm talking more about like the history of Shikari as a player. Back-to-back champion of the UK split.
You said back-to-back-to-back? It's back-to-back-to-back-to-back.
It's four. Yeah, it's four, isn't it?
Insane.
And also made it to top 4 in EU Masters, the furthest any UK team has ever been as well.
Yep.
It's a very history. It's a veteran player with a veteran team, and also a veteran org. But I don't feel like it's out of like kind of the realm of possibility. XL UK have been looking infinitely better than they were in the UK split in the spring, and you know, they've been able to already have a tower for themselves twice. I've had it twice now.
No, once.
Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, they've had it twice. Once.
I think the thing I'd say in return is that sure, Shikari is undoubtedly has the best record on the UK scene, but Sendo has played in the Spanish scene before for G2. He also did play on the LEC roster for 2 games and actually has a 100% win rate in the LEC, so that's something pretty hypey. I think that he is someone who has a lot of potential. It's just he hasn't shown it yet.
Alrighty, well, we're through into picks and bans. We have our Sivir, Akali, Aurelia, Heimerdinger, Yuumi all banned away. Remember, Kiana has been re-enabled along with Yuumi. Last week they weren't able to play, but now we see the Karma as the final ban here for Fnatic Rising.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. One advantage I feel from the fact that Special wasn't here is that they had to ban Yasuo against him every single game. Now it has been sort of freed up, as I feel like the priority isn't quite as high up against XL.
Sorry, mate. I've been getting pressured. As hype as the Yasuo pick is, you need to wear the Teemo hat. Apparently, that's what everyone's asking. So there we go.
Thanks, but it looks like XL are still going to take that Yasuo. Whether they have Special or XL, they will pick that champion up. So this is one of the power picks that it ended up resulting in a win for XL in their first week.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's just been banned consistently. But Fnatic Rising looking for a pretty stable blind in the Azir. And then the big reason why the Gragas is important is because Gragas Yasuo is a combo that XL love to run. It works well mid-jungle or in the bot lane. So they've instantly denied that by picking it up. But that does mean that Sejuani's open, which is great to combo with melee mid laners. So I've locked that one in. I feel like you've taken away the combo of Gragas Yasuo, but Yasuo and Sejuani is pretty good anyway.
Oh, hold on. This might just be the Yasuo bot lane again, and they might just put Hyundai on the Corki and send him mid.
Actually, here's a talking point as well. So I'm not necessarily going to make a statement that this is coming through, but you know Mo, the Yasuo player from NA?
Yeah.
So whenever he used to get put bot lane, he used to play Yasuo Sejuani bot. And the reason being is that when you dash in, you easily stack the passive. So although a lot of people are thinking this is a jungle Sejuani, it still technically could be a flex, and that's what makes it a bit difficult to read this XL composition right now.
All right, well, X-Mad is going to get his hands onto that Xayah. I expect to actually see XL ban away the Rakan now, try and deny that from Fnatic. Don't want to give over a really powerful duo, especially if you are playing this Yasuo in the bot lane, but it might not be even go bot lane. It might be something like the Corki goes bot lane, or you send the Yasuo top. There are still a fair few elements of flexibility to this XL roster. And if we look back to week 1, when XL were able to take the tower from Fnatic, it was with a very flexible roster. It was by catching Fnatic off guard in the picks and ban phase. So I have to see if they're going to go for that as their game plan coming into this rematch.
I will say, I do feel that the advantage that Fnatic has is it's a flexible Gragas pick. It could go support or jungle. They are going to focus on support picks, but that does mean they're leaving Shikari open. That is the one pick that certainly hasn't been taken by Fnatic yet, and I expect to see them look at something like the Kennen, which is consistently picked when it's open. But I expect that to be their second ban. As for Fnatic Rising, they're taking the Cassiopeia away, which has been buffed in this patch. You can miasma and basically melee range makes you a lot safer, and also a lot more healing on a Twin Fangs, particularly late game, so not wanting that powerhouse to go over the side of XL.
That's going to be a Tahm Kench remove there by Fnatic Rising as well. Just looking to kind of force Kasing onto something maybe a little bit further away, a little bit further off meta. It's going to yeet the hat away, are we?
Yeah, it's too hot. It's too hot.
Absolutely boiling. Alrighty. What do XL want to ban? One last ban and they are taken away?
I'd expect it to be.
Morgana.
It's actually Morgana, so it does mean that if Shikari wants to take that cannon, it is available. You could take your support pick here. Shen has been left open. Yeah, Shen's been left open, which Prospect put a ton of priority on, so that's a pick they could take. And it would mean you have counter pick in the top lane for Shikari. He could take that cannon if he thinks the matchup is right. But there are a lot of, the big support picks have been nerfed down, the things like the Lux. But, that Shen is still in the same condition, and Prospect showed that in the week that he started to pick it up, he just picked it again and again and again.
100% win rate so far. Oh, wait, 60% win rate. Where did he lose? Who lost on it? It wasn't Prospect. Prospect has 100% win rate on it. I can say that with complete confidence.
Yeah.
As now we're looking towards what XL are looking to get up into their jungle roles. It's going to be
I was right. I was right about the Sejuani
Sejuani
support. I called it. Sejuani, Yasuo bot lane.
Hold on.
Likely looking
XL did play Sejuani mid last season.
Oh god.
I hope it's not, because that
would be
bad.
really weird.
That was really bad.
No, I don't think it is. So it will be Sejuani, Yasuo bot lane. Not quite as good as a Gragas Yasuo, I don't think, but still has a lot of strength, particularly pre-6. In comparison, it's really good. We will have the mid lane Corki and then top lane Nars pickup, which I think makes sense. If you expect Shikari to go Kennen, you want to take a ranged matchup that can deal with him. And also, Sendo's just been stellar on this Nars throughout.
And it's actually, he was playing it all last week. The one loss was versus Fnatic Rising on that Gnar for him as well. So he's had a really good performance on it. Like you said, the Kennen's been left open. Gonna get that for Shikari. And looking like the Fnatic roster's now been rounded out. The XL, they've kind of got an idea of where they want to be going. Man, I'm so excited to see this Yasuo and Sejuani bot lane.
Yeah, so I'll be wondering who actually ends up playing it. I think it may be once again Shannon going mid and then XL playing a bot lane. It would make a lot of sense to me because Corki Azir is the staple blind matchup in the mid lane at the moment. You'll see it across all regions. It's like if you want a safe scaling mid lane matchup where you're not going to get punished much by ganks, those are the champions you take. But this bot lane matchup is going to be pretty hypey. There's a lot of opportunity, especially pre-6, to get on top of the likes of Xmati. And if you stack up that passive, you are going to take so much hit.
The one thing I want to talk about and hit on here is XL actually now have a team comp that will scale. Last time, when they went toe-to-toe, XL smashed the early game, but their scaling was limited at best, and they recognized that, made some forced plays. Now they've got the Corki, they've got the Yasuo, they have the option to kind of sit back and scale, and if they can get that gold lead like they did versus Fnatic last week, it's less of a dicey, less of a hairy situation to find yourself in.
I think absolutely. I think if they get a lead like they did last week, I don't think it's as easy as for Fnatic just to sit and wait, especially since they haven't just picked pure scaling across the board. They had things like the Zac jungle, which is absolutely screams to me. We just want to wait till later in the game when Zac's huge. Right now they have the Gragas. He is relying on making some early ganks because later on you go the heavier AP build. He is squishy. Unless you can land a really good combo, you are just going to be a bit of a liability at times compared to the carries on your team like the Azir and the Xayah who need to step up and make the impact.
All right, well, we've loaded through onto the Summoners Rift for our first game of Week 4, the tower rematch between XL and Fnatic Rising. Ooh. And XL maybe can earn a little bit of pride back from last week's defeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see Taxa fishing out for some Sonic Waves. Nothing found yet. Both teams taking quite a defensive start, just nearly levels. And Shikari actually looking for... I'm not sure what.
He was going for Klepto stacks, but he couldn't get in auto range.
That's what I always do. I've been playing a bit of Ezreal bot recently, and like we always invade just for the Klepto stacks. And then the great one is when you get like double sack of gold, and it's like, oh, lane's over.
And you sell it, and you get 40 gold in each one. You're like, oh,
you sell it?
No, I use it. Sorry,
I always use it.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's free gold, and like it's the RNG is what makes it fun, right?
Yeah, it's
like it doesn't matter.
It's like teamfight tactics within League of Legends.
Apparently, on average, it's actually always better to use it. I think that's because they nerfed it, because it used to sell for 70, now it sells for 60.
I think the only argument to sell it is if you recall and you need an exact amount of gold.
Yeah.
And it's safe to sell it.
Oh, I still go for it.
I still go for it.
I still go for it.
Can't resist it. And one big thing is we did see the cannon start E, and why that's significant is it's one of the things that got nerfed on the cannon in this last patch. So cannon, Nico, and Jace all got hit with some laning nerfs. most notably is their attack speed and their AD. Does scale up to sort of match it in the later game, but right now Shikari will do less damage to auto attacks and will have less attack speed on the E. So if he tries to trade autos with Sendo, he's going to struggle a bit more than he would have last week.
Well, the Corki versus Azir matchup is as thrilling as ever. I'm more interested in this top, in this jungle, and especially this bot lane. This is the lane I really want to be watching.
Yeah, it's hypey, and they do need to wait a little bit longer. I feel like the level 3 is the big stand-up point because you have all the abilities for both of them. Obviously, level 2, Yasuo is great, but you want to wait for the wind wall when you're playing against something like Azaya, anything with ranged DPS. And it's really effective against her because you can block her feathers being set up, and it makes it very difficult
back if you're a bit slow as well.
Yeah,
so
but I'd expect the Exile's pretty fast on it, but yeah.
You know,
to
be fair, he has played it already this season in the bot lane as well, so it's not like this is something... It was special, you're right, actually.
But
yeah.
Exile has played it as a whole. Specifically Exile. But the big thing is that Kasing can help stack the passive. You have a lot of damage from your stun and then also the knockup. It's just so much CC. And once Yasuo's on top of you, there's very little you can do. And that's why you see Fnatic are playing with so much respect right here. They are very aware of how strong this lane can be. And they know that if Maddie steps up in the wrong position, he will be very vulnerable. But right now, both junglers are pathing down here. The wave, Root comes in.
Knockup goes a little bit wide. Prospect comes in with the floor. Into Exile. He's ignited and running away. Kasing lands a knockup. In comes Taxa. He hops in and out of the fight. NG can go for the flash belly bop if he wants to. A two-man Root lands onto Taxa. Exile is low. So is Taxa. Kasing blocks up for his team. Finds himself a Root. NG gets kicked up. Prospect taunts forward. The wind wall comes down. And nobody dies in the bot lane.
Yeah, gotta say it's a massive win for Fnatic though. They take so many summoners away. Exile uses both of his. Kasing down his flash as well. The one advantage you do have is that Ignite is still available, but without their flashes, you're going to struggle a bit to find those engages.
We're seeing Sendo looking to try and get a bit of damage onto Shikari, but does take that tower shot, unfortunately for him. Boulder Toss gets blocked out by the minion as well. So Shikari can look just to try and stack some damage into Sendo for the moment. Might actually just go for a bit of an all-in here. That stun is available. Doesn't fully commit.
Yeah, but it's just going to back off here. Wave's in a good position for Shikari, and now Sendo's going to recall. I expect he will TP in. Actually, with the wave now, because Shikari went and shoved it there, it's pushing towards Sendo, so he will TP anyway, but I feel like maybe he could have waited that one out. Getting a bit greedy for that cannon and he wants to pick it up.
Well, mid lane once again.
Assassinate.
Like, Shannon will get poked by Imagine Felix for the moment, but there's very little kill threat without jungler attention, and I feel like the junglers are going to be looking to get the likes of the Exile snowballing or shut down in the case of Fnatic. Don't want this Yasuo to get too strong. They know that Corki is a fairly safe mid laner. However, there are some pings coming down towards that mid lane from Exile's bot lane. Kasing and Exile trying to see if they can make some kind of moves onto Magic Felix. Shannon just playing the bait game for the moment. It looks like they're just going to help him shove the lane and base.
Yeah, just provides him that space. We will be able to back off. But now NG is looking towards the top lane. He's going to get some vision control down here, but he should see Taxa with his blast drone here. I mean, the scrying bloom.
The blast vision is NG actually coming in, just seeing if he can steal away from Taxa. Taxa down on experience here.
And has no smite, so he would lose out on this.
Oh, Shikari with the fancy dancing, able to dodge away. This is going to be the smite coming down by NG. Does spot it out, and he's able to just counter jungle successfully here.
Oh, but Taxa managed to get level 5 from leeching XP from mid lane. That is another aspect where Magi Felix has found an advantage of Hyonin, has been able to poke him out, and now does have a little bit of CS lead. And in the end, we actually have a 900 gold lead over the Fnatic. Obviously, part of that will come down the Kleptomancy from Shikari, but overall, CS is going pretty well.
Oh, they're going in. The wind wall comes down a little bit late, and Exile does take a bit of burst damage from Maddie.
Taxa's coming down. Will walk over a ward, but They might look for the engage here.
They're looking to go in. X-Matty dodges away. They have that permafrost available. It's going to connect onto Prosper. Exile's ignited. The knockout comes down. And first blood for Taxa. Now NG making his way in with that flash belly bomb. Instantly takes down Exile. X-Matty now flashes forward. Finds himself the blade cooler onto Kasing. He's low, but the shields are there. And Taxa finds himself his second. X-Matty still has health and mana to work with. But they're not going to commit for the fight. They're going to step away. A 2-for-1 in favor of XL.
And just flawless play coming out from Taxa there. He actually waited so long to reactivate his Sonic Wave to get the maximum amount of execute damage onto NG there, and it meant they ended up getting 2 kills. It was a good engage coming out from Exile, but just NG managed to recover it, but overall Exile come out massively ahead in that exchange. And Taxa now looking really strong on this Lee Sin.
Alrighty, well, Sendo gonna try and push this wave into Shikari. So far, no plates have fallen. 7 minutes into the game, and it's advantages through CSing across the board here. Fnatic do have themselves CS leads in every lane of Shikari. Also, with that Kleptomancy, should be able to get himself a fair amount of additional gold over Sendo as well. So we have a little toggle on the old gold graph. Just, there we go, thank you. Nothing massive to speak of so far. Shikari just edging ahead with a 400 gold lead. And those kills getting picked up by Taxa does give him a slight gold lead for him.
Yeah, big ones I can see is that, yeah, Taxa has a gold lead, Magifelix has one in return, and Shikari getting stunned up here.
Yeah, Shikari's going to have to use the Slicing Maelstrom, but Sendo is going to take the stun, doesn't take the tower shot, the wallop goes a little bit wide, lands that boulder toss, and now XL looking to maybe try and make some waves here in this mid lane. Level 6 is available to Exile. They have a lot of ways to set up that with the knock-up from the Arctic Assault or that Dragon's Rage by Taxa. Now Prosper does need to be a little bit careful. He's in a bit of a dicey situation.
Yeah, we'll just be able to walk it off though. Kasing's still level 5. I think that's a big thing. Is once he hits level 6, he will start looking for these glacial prisons. And normally, if you're playing a mid laner like the Corki or like the Azir, you're tempted to take Cleanse up against the Sejuani. But when it's a support Sejuani, you don't feel as pressure to do so. And that means when Kasing hits level 6, he will basically have free pickings with his ult. No cleanses to get out of it. And this guy, I know, can be pretty accurate with his skill shots.
Well, he's waiting about here. He's expecting some aggression by XL. Prosper does have that taunt available, and they are going hard, but Tax is in as well. Lands himself the knockup. That's going to be an ulti to spread the fight for XL. Knockup goes wide, and XL are able to disengage, but NG with double buffs wants to look for some kind of a chase, but is unable to do so. Taxa lands a kick onto Prosper, and that's all she wrote in the bot lane.
Yeah, Taxa still had his kick there. Ultimate still available for Exile, but they don't go for anything more. But now...
Ooh, Magifelix gets the streamer. Shuffle onto Yarden. He is low HP. The flash comes out. And Magifelix will just win that trade in the mid lane.
Yeah, just edging out ahead of Yarden. It feels like constant advantages are being taken here. Yarden will recall. I believe the package should be available. He will pick it up to come over to his team. Assist with Infernal for NG. He's trying to
needs to be careful. They get the cook. Get the knock-up. Not going to pull it on the last breath quite yet. That Infernal Drake's key. The Dragon's Rage comes down. That's going to be the Drake. Picked up for XL as they're looking to make their way over the wall. XL has to flash. Taxa has to flash. And Fnatic lose the Drake, but force 2 flashes from XL.
Yeah, a lot of summoners burn. I feel like Fnatic, they called them on it. They managed to chase them off and burn those. Oh, another engage.
He just keeps jumping on him every time. Shikari, low HP. Look at Sendo playing very well without the tower aggro. Knows that Slicing Maelstrom will lock him down. So he just steps back. Just wins the trade every time.
Yeah, the one thing is that Shikari does have some lifesteal. Will be going towards that Gunblade. Already has the Cutlass, so able to heal up. But Sendo constantly applying the pressure. And the thing is, the Gnarl is on such a short cooldown. You absolutely can constantly just look for it just for trading. I feel like whenever you use your Slicing Maelstrom on Kennen, it puts you at a big disadvantage for quite a significant time, especially if your team are looking for you to TP in. But with Sendo, you are honestly at liberty just to use that whenever it's off cooldown, you have the opportunity.
Well, Magifelix is slingshotting ahead in CS so far. Ghana should be able to equalize out most of that deficit, though, with this wave crashing into his tower. Puts him down 11 CS at the moment, and we're now going to start to see some plates start to crumble here in this bot lane. Kasing and XL do get a bit of free time onto that tower. Kasing is a little bit low. You need to keep this in mind, so a base will need to come out from him fairly soon.
Yeah, but 2 plates coming down, shared between them, that's pretty significant. And now a big thing to look at is Prosper's hit level 6. That Shen ult is available, so now he has decided to make the decision to roam, and then he can ult back to assist Maddie if needs be. And because X-Might has that ult, he will be pretty safe if XL's bot lane try and engage in him. He will be able to buy enough time for the Shen ult to come in.
Well, XL smells something's up here. We're going to send down a few members, 4 versus 3 in the mid lane. You can see XL's making his way up from Prosper, just keeping the Rift Herald aggroed for the moment for his team, but now it looks like they're going to look to disengage as Magic Felix goes in for the Streamer Shuffle. The flash comes out by Sendo to make sure he doesn't get caught, and XL are just going to be gifted the Rift Herald here. XL will be the one to pick that up. And Fnatic just kind of lost a little bit without a cause.
Yeah, I think they felt confident because they brought Crossfair up that they'd have a numbers advantage.
Going in. I mean, actually, like you said, when he doesn't have Slicing Maelstrom,
yeah,
that's big
really
for him.
So honestly, it was a good play from Sendo. He knocks him away. Shikari buys the bait.
That's another key ult forced out by Fnatic.
It feels like Fnatic are just being baited here by XL. Baiting outsmarted, baiting these ults for essentially nothing. We've seen 3 used in the past 20 seconds for very little at all. And these are massive ultimates as well. The Slice and Maelstrom is just pivotal for Kennen to make an impact in teamfights. Shen ults just basically are the reason you pick that champion. And with it on cooldown for a significant amount of time, it's a pretty big hit.
And you see the man on the screen right now, Prosper, calling out XL after last week in the post-match interview. Now we're seeing XL bite back, fight back. NG gets slowed up by the Winter's Wrath. But they're not going to look for that kill quite yet. Sendo now with his ultimate on cooldown. Did just use it on to win that trade versus Shikari.
Looks like Sorry, we'll just stay out the wave. Sendo definitely strutting in stuff in this matchup. Question's going to be who can impact the team fights more, however. TP down for both of them. And XL are looking to apply some pressure to the tower, but that's a big burden. If you don't bring Yarnan's Corki in, there's no one really who can hit the towers from a distance.
Looks like XL just looking to clear out some of these wards that have been placed down by Fnatic. You can actually see in this bot side of the jungle, Fnatic have done a really good job of just getting this trifecta of wards able to spot out Tax's rotations. They know that Exile is going to be the kind of key player. And now that that Tribrush ward has been taken out, that's a fairly big win for XL because it means that there's a little bit of area where Taxa will be unseen. Now getting spotted out as he heads through his own jungle. But Fnatic are doing a good job of spotting out all of XL's rotations because they know this bot lane is the high priority lane for XL to get snowballing.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, is that you want to focus this Shen lane. Obviously, his ult isn't available at the moment, but you want to make sure that when it is up, he is pressured in his own lane because then he cannot try and assist the rest of the map. If you try and target top lane when that Shen ult's available, he will just ult over to help Shikari. And on the back of that Slice and Maelstrom, it's going to be very hard to take them out. So applying the pressure bot lane, I think absolutely the right call, especially when the Dragon is coming up pretty soon. Will be a mountain, so if XL can secure that one as well, puts them in pretty good stead going into the mid game.
Well, 14 minutes on the clock here. Gold is 100 apart. XL now picking up that static shiv will allow him for some better wave clear at the moment.
And shove potential is a big thing. You can just consistently force Maddie in the tower. And you can see Prosper, again, his ult's coming up soon. He's looking to roam. But now that you're forcing Maddie consistently in the tower, it means that Exile and Kasing can very quickly follow. And they're going to move over and look to start this Mountain Dragon. Sharnan's actually top lane, so he's quite far away. And the rest of Fnatic are looking to collapse.
Yeah, Fnatic closing in, 5 members strong. NG makes his way over the wall. The ulti connects onto X-Maddie on the back lane. A great knock-up, pins Exile in place, and he is taken out. Fnatic now hungry for blood, only finds one, unable to chase for more. As they do dissuade the dragon, and they also find themselves a kill.
Yeah, just great combo coming out from NG. Perfectly finds a knock-up on a 2. The knockback follow-up is great. However, Tax is still alive. He could look for a steal, but I think at that HP it would be pretty risky.
Yeah, it would have been a suicide run for him to do that, but now we see Magic Felix get the Shen out on top of him. Sendo about to gnar out. Doesn't commit any further into the play.
Yeah, and I've got to give credit to Fnatic for that past passage of play, but I feel like the Shen ults just really have done nothing this game. We've had 2 essentially forced for very little, and sure, you can say it dissuaded XL, but that is not what you pick the Shen for. You want to make proactive plays with those ults, but irrespective of how impactful that one pick has been, Fnatic do find themselves taking down the first tower in the bot lane. That's going to give a big gold advantage over to X-Mighty.
Yeah, he's now got his Essence Reaver finished up at BF Sword, so working towards that Infinity Edge. Once you got those 2 items on the Xayah, it does help a lot with your damage. Like, those are kind of the 2 key ones. You pop a Zeal on there, you get some attack speed to really kind of just empower that even more. But the Infinity Edge and Essence are the kind of two big spike items for Xayah, and they're expensive items, so getting ever so closer is key for Xmatty here.
Especially if you think about how big the crits are going to be, and you look across the board, no one in XL has built any armor. You know, Sendo on this Nart is going to be the tankiest person when he's a Mega, but he's only built MR to deal with Shikari, so Xmatty, if you get some big crits, you will really start to cut through people.
XL needs to be careful here. That taunt will connect onto him. Windwall to block it out, but he gets belly bopped and sent packing. Jumps away with the E. He actually is trying to turn this around as Magic Felix comes over. The knock-up is there, but Taxa lands the kick into
Great
the ultimate.
taunt.
Another taunt comes down by Prospect. 3 members low. The teleport's coming in, and XL are forced away. Fnatic once again finding a favorable fight.
Yeah, and XL just looks a bit lost right now. Caught out again on this Yasuo. 0-3-1. We saw so much respect put towards Specials Yasuo, and we questioned the fact that Fnatic didn't choose to ban it when XL was subbed in, and this may be the reason, because XL has just looked underwhelming so far, and I don't think it's purely down to him, but Fnatic are definitely prepared for this Yasuo pick, and they are reacting very well.
Well, first Turret Blood did go down in that top side as well there, as Fnatic, sorry, in the mid lane. Fnatic have 2 turrets down already. I've actually lost track of where we are on turrets.
It's hard sometimes. It's a big map.
Yeah, there's more lanes than our producer can count to.
I'm wondering if you heard that.
In our rehearsals, just for context on this, in our rehearsals, our countdown went 5, 2, 1.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny one. Just a little insight to what goes on in rehearsals. We always take them very seriously.
Clearly.
Like looking to contest this vision.
Yeah, they've got that Predator on. A 2-man knockup by Exile, though, will send them away. You can see this game, though, is resting on a knife's edge. Fnatic have been able to find themselves some favorable fights for the last few stages of play, but Exile definitely not willing to go down without a fight. And she is just waddling towards Hjarnan.
And this is my concern, because XL had a great early game last time these two matched up last week, but they really struggled with their mid-game decision-making. And here, Fnatic are the ones with the lead. So it's now on the burden of XL to catch up and make the right calls to sort of close this, because neither team, I say, has a massive scaling advantage. I think it's pretty even across the board. And so it's going to come down to which team plays the mid to late game better, which last week was Fnatic. So I feel like XL, they are in a bit of a trickier position. And even when they got a massive lead last week, it just wasn't enough. So that's the question that makes me wonder, will they be able to do anything here to find their way back in this game?
So much damage get thrown out as Exile gets himself the knockup. They get the full combo onto Prospect. Taxa kicks him back, and Exile is able to find the kill. Exile finally pull off this 3-man in the top side.
Some clean mechanics come out from Taxa's Lee Sin. They managed to take the kill. They shut down Prospect, and now they can force Maddie away from the turret. No Stand United can come in to help him out, and Magic Felix doesn't quite connect on that streamer shuffle. So good play coming out from XL across the board, and this is the sort of thing we need to see consistently if they want to make their way back in this game.
Taxa being flanked here by Genji. He misses out on the belly bomb. Oh man, you hate to see it. I just picture in slow-mo, like a belly just flew past his eye, like.
It did look a bit like that, and gotta give credit, XL really have stepped things up in this mid-game, finding the mechanical outplays here and there, but still need more. Like, still 1k gold up. And again, it was XL's decision-making in the mid-game that had me really concerned. They need to keep making plays like these. Dragon is coming up soon. That tends to be a big focal point. So Observer could quickly show us which Dragon it is. Would be very much appreciated.
He's toying with us. Oh, it's the Ocean.
It's an Ocean. So not the most impactful. Again, when teams have even scaling, you do want to pick up these Dragons because it's going to help you later on if the Elder becomes a contested objective. But compared to the Mountain and Infernal that has been on the cards, it's not as important.
Okay. Sin comes over the wall, misses out on the Glacial Prison. That's a teleport used as well. XL used a lot for an Ocean Drake. Weren't able to find anything in return. Fnatic will be able to walk away happy with that one.
It just seemed a bit slow on the uptake, the fact they made those moves after the Ocean was basically down. They're going to now try and pressure the mid lane tower, but Magic Felix and the Tazir has way too much wave clear. And in the end, they burn a TP, they burn a Sejuani ult, and they get basically nothing.
Have you noticed how big Gragas' hands are? Zoom in on those. There's some Big old hands.
I mean, these big hands to hold big kegs.
Yeah, you know, that's what they say about big hands.
But they
big
are...
kegs.
Yeah, they are huge. I feel like if they ever rework Gragas, they should just give him like a slap ability. That would probably just one-shot someone.
He does need a bit of a visual update, that guy.
So, which champion do you think is most needing of a visual update? Because I did a question about that recently. Which one did you vote for? Because I believe like...
I went Shyvana because it was Volibear Shyvana, right?
Volibear, Shyvana, Fiddlesticks, and...
I went Shyvana because she was my first ever champion when I first started playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
Who was your first?
My first ever was Ashe. I played a game of it, and then I was like, wait, Lissandra...
Oh, we'll have to hold that. Crossfair getting jumped on. This is going to go down as Shannon picks that kill up.
And just Crossfair getting caught out again. It looks like Exile have decided to make him pay for what he did to Exile earlier. They are finding him again and again and punishing it.
Someone in Twitch chat posted Udyr.
No, Udyr has one. It just cost you 1820 RP.
Well, that's the problem. I legit think if they update Udyr, that skin is just useless at that point. And Imagine Felix, he might be feeling a little bit useless as he has to flash over the wall from Taxa and Exile. That was a dangerous position for him to be in, and Exile will now be able to take a turret in the mid lane as well as evening out that turret score and evening out the gold score, actually getting themselves a slight lead of 400.
Yeah, and Fnatic, who looked like the dominant force as it got later in the game last week, have just been caught out here a bit. MagiFelix losing his flash, Crossfire losing his life. Just across the board, I feel like XL have been edging ahead now. As you said, they have that gold lead.
I'm just interested in what people are saying about visual updates. Someone said Veigar, but he just had ability updates recently.
He has some pretty cool skins as well.
He does have some cool skins.
I feel that's the thing, is that like, you can just pay to get your visual update.
Some of the newer skins. I mean, Veigar, his ult skin is...
in fairness, all the new Galio looks so good. Just all when they reworked him, across the board they look great. It's a shame he's no longer a champion. But for that brief time that he was.
For anyone who didn't see our patch notes video, it's all about how bad Galio is.
Well, the last 10 seconds, but he really just isn't a champion. Someone said Shaco. I think that's a fair one. I think potentially a full gameplay rework, because I feel like he's one of the champions where he's super feast to famine. He either just, he's super fed, so he just appears on you and one-hits you, or he's just an invisible minion.
Do you reckon Udyr would get a full gameplay update as well if he got updated, or do you think they'd just change his skin?
I'm not sure what you could really update. Like, where would you go with Udyr?
I think it's okay him being. He's a relatively simple champion, and I think that's like okay. Like, I think it's good to have
someone like you.
It's like Galio. No, sorry, Garen. In the sense that like, not every champion needs to be high skill cap.
Yeah,
right?
in fairness, the problem is with balancing them, because if a champion is simple, then if he becomes overtuned, if there's no skill cap. I'm sorry, if there's no skill floor, then anyone can play him and just abuse him.
Oh yeah, Spite Nick from Diabolus is saying, don't touch Udyr. I forgot you're like an Udyr main.
Mundo rework. Maybe. Again, it's the difficult thing, is like you can suggest what you can change, but...
Hold on, that's the kick, that's the combo! The ult goes wide, into the Blade Cooler, into the Feather Storm! Nobody falls as Exile will go down as I say that. 2 quick kills, picked up for Fnatic Rising. X-Maddie finds them.
Yeah, and Shikari came in on the back end with the ult. And Destruction came in, but Sendo, he's looking aggressive here.
That's going to be an ulti going wide by MagiFelix. Sendo stacking up that Narc. And a lot of damage available to him. And Sendo now hungry to try and find some kind of an opening for his team. Unable to do so, though. Fnatic will be able to walk away victorious from the play.
Yeah, not really sure what that streamer, that ult for MagiFelix was doing. It was a bit questionable, but at the end of the day, Fnatic come up 2 members ahead, but XL still able to find pressure and get this tower due to the poke that Sean landed on the back end. The gold leaf's still going to be in their favor, but NG might be looking for something here.
Looks like he's going to not be able to find Hyanan, who makes his way out underneath his tower and looking for his base.
I like that comment. Someone has said in the Twitch chat, Bird needs glasses, in response to MagiFelix whiffing that ult. You see Fnatic looking to pick up that second mount. We'll make that Baron very fast, and as we're looking at that, we can take stock of the items. You see Triforce Essence Reaver finished up by Sean, and the BF on top of that. It's a lot of damage there, and short cooldown on those rockets. Maddie does have the Infinity Edge Essence Reaver, is farming for wave bot, so I think after that he'll be able to recoil and pick up some more items just to make himself even stronger. It looks like Exile's going for that Steris Gauge. as a third item, which I think makes a lot of sense, gives him more survivability. We see Felix has picked up the Lost Chapter, but not quite the Ludens. Like, XL is setting up in the jungle of Fnatic. They're trying to get control of this Baron area. Fnatic are pretty wary of them right now.
So have a little look at the vision, actually, at this point. You can see that XL do have pretty much complete vision dominance here. Maddie is able to step up and try and clear out this control ward.
Two control wards
are getting placed down. NG actually jumps in, Taxa's low, and he is down. Maddie finds the shutdown. Sendo is about to gnaw out. This could be dangerous for Fnatic if he finds that key ultimate. Shikari gets a slicing maelstrom onto Hyanan. Sendo jumps in, a three-man gnaw. Exile is onto the backline, and it's a whitewash for XL. They absolutely smack Fnatic about and take them all down.
And we talked about Sendo redeem himself. He just monstered his way through that team fight. He destroyed Fnatic's backline.
Oh no.
Oh, Shikari.
You're on a ward, Shikari.
He's faking it. He's pretending they don't see him.
Blasco comes down the flash. Arctic Assault knock up Shikari. Gonna go golden for the moment, but that will not do much. Exile gets the shutdown, and XL look towards the Baron.
Big thing is, because Taxa died so early, he's back up again. He's gonna be able to run over and smite up this Baron. Felix the only one really in range right now, but there is a TP available for Maddie. But the Baron is losing HP very fast.
NG's alive and he's making his way forward. Fnatic trying to get some some players onto the map. Kasing might just sacrifice his life, but he doesn't go down. Holds out, and XL will get themselves Baron. And I believe Hyanan spawned in time, so 5 members of XL with Baron.
Yes, we will have a replay of that game. Taxi just honestly caught out here. Might making a great read, but then he oversteps to try and trade damage onto Sendo and Hyanan, and the poke from those rockets is huge. Burn Shot now, and Shikari looks for Hyanan off the side, but the real hero is XL's top laner. Oh. Sendo gets that massive knock-up, the stun follows up, and Gragas and Xayah are just instantly eliminated. Prospect goes down shortly after, but
I like that we freeze-frame the kill there as well.
We went so slow motion, time just stopped.
He actually interrupted Prospect's ult, which was really big there as well. It stopped him from getting on. I didn't see who he was ulting.
He was onto Hyanan because he was ulting onto Shikari to chase down Hyanan. And that's the thing, is that Shikari and Prospect weren't enough to take... Actually, no, I think they did take down Hyanan in the end. But they weren't enough to quickly dispatch him. But Sendo just single-handedly took over that team fight. 2 key members in Matty and NG. And really, we've criticized this player for such a long time. Since Sendo's come to the UK, he has looked underwhelming. But this split has been his. And in this game, he is showing why we've started to praise him, because that Gnaw ult was absolutely stellar. And I feel like a lot of people have looked to ban away Kennen for Shikari. You might have to do the same for Sendo's Gnaw in the future, because every game he's played it, he's just looked so good.
So a little birdie sent me a little message this morning telling me that it was someone's birthday on Friday.
Oh, is it?
How old are you going to be?
24.
24. Can Twitch chat, can we get some happy birthdays for Orcs? Because we're not doing a show on Friday, so...
We're doing a show on Thursday, so wouldn't that make more sense?
Let's do it now, because I'll forget tomorrow.
Wow, thanks.
I literally forgot until I saw your girlfriend's name in Twitch chat, and I was like, oh yeah, it's your birthday on Friday.
Oh, thanks everyone. 24, no, I'm 24 going 70, if you remember our conversation earlier.
He was the one voting for 70. Like, I think Orcs and 3 other people voted 70. Everyone else went, 13 would be infinitely better.
Oh, thanks everyone in the chat. Big love to all of you. Thanks for tuning in, and what a better birthday present than some great League of Legends.
Do you give everyone a kiss?
There's my big kiss.
Sendo is playing with fire, but he is feeling very confident. He's got himself the wit's end with the cleaver, so he's doing some serious damage. There's a lot of attack speed to work with, and for the most part, it's going to be hard for NG and Shikari to kill with an adaptive helm, the wit's end, the health from the cleaver. Like, he's just very hard to kill.
That is some MR stacking. That really means that Xmighty has to be the one to take him out. That's the one person who really has the damage profile to deal with that Gnaw. But even so, he has so much HP, especially when he hits Mega. And Shikari just isn't really able to hold him off. He's gone for that Zhonya's and Oblivion Orb, which is great for team fighting. But for holding off that Gnaw, you're really going to struggle, especially with the Baron. But for now, NG's actually looking.
He's trying to make his way forward, does have his Predator available, but doesn't pull the trigger, knows that Sendo Level 17 going to be hard to shut down, and meanwhile, XL group up as 4 in this bot side of the map, and they're looking to crack this inhibitor turret. Should go down fairly quick, but NG now running in with a Predator. They're trying to find that opening. The Glacial Prison goes down just to slow NG out and stop his advance forward, and XL step back. They have now lost their Baron buff, but they've done some serious damage to the towers in the meantime.
Yeah, they're getting very low, but it looks like Fnatic do manage to hold their base. Now a fight comes in.
Yeah, they're actually jumping onto him for the moment. Sendo does not have his Nara anymore, gets himself the wham down. And Sendo jumps away, gets the speed up from the Hyper. NG gets the cask, sends him packing. Sendo is low, but he gets the kill. He turns it around. NG flashes forward, 1 for 1 in the top lane. XL take the turret and will take the inhibitor as reward. Sendo puts his name forward to be the best top laner in the UK.
Just what a performance, and the MR coming in huge there, Sendo. But so much time, and Shikari just felt like he wasn't able to really do anything. Just 2 AP mages essentially killing him with auto attacks. Sendo pops off again, and as a result, XL can take that bot inhibitor, and now they're going to head over and pick up an Ocean Dragon as a reward.
I hate that point when you're a jungler and your mid laner walks up and takes your crab.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's the jungle way, though. To get denied, you comes.
Alrighty, well, 32 minutes on the clock. Fnatic do still have 2 Mountain Drakes, so if there is a moment where Baron comes back up and they get a little bit of free time on it, with the Rapid Fire Cannon, Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver on that Xayah, Xmadi will absolutely rip through the Baron, and you've got Magifelix on the Azir.
Yeah, but
XL will have to be very careful around the next Baron spot.
Big caveat is being able to do that Baron. And XL have a 5k gold lead. And you look at Xmighty's items and you're like, where is this gold lead coming from? If the observers could show us the gold, it would help. Because the big part is you can see the item differential in top lane. 4 items on Sendo's Gnar, including now that Jay's just picked up. And you can see he's 2,000 gold up on Shikari. And the other one is that mid lane matchup. 2,600 gold in Shannon. He's just gone back and spent that, but he's got a massive gold lead over Magifelix, and that's where the problems come on. Those solo laners have been so great this game for XL in picking up the gold.
It's going to be on for a big play by Fnatic if they want to pull this gold back, or a solid stall. Shikari has his teleport available, so he's been sent down to the bot lane to clear out that wave. And if this Baron gets started up, if a fight is to ensue, XL will call for Shikari to pull that trigger. As Prospero went on a bit of a madman warding route here, but the key thing is there are a lot of flank wards set up by him. As Baron is
so
getting liquefied by XL, now they might just look to try and turn it onto Prospero, use the ulti to pin him in place. He taunts over the wall, the turret will get destroyed, and now that is the rest of XL stopped on the Baron. Fnatic are able to stop them for the moment, but NG looking for that opening, the big cask into the backline. XL's health bars are low. Shannon is ignited and down. Xmadi gets a shutdown, but XL is jumping in. Shikari locks him in place, takes him down. A big gnar by Sendo will not do anything as he has to hop over the wall. XL lose free, and Fnatic are just going to come out on top.
Yeah, Fnatic coming out huge there. NG and Xmadi, they finally engaged onto Shannon, and it's just so critical. They shut him down almost instantly, and after that, Corki's off the board with those 4 items. Oh, NG, you're not going to win this.
You are going to lose this so hard. Sendo will at least take him out, but that is going to be a Nexus turret going down. And actually, we can see a bit of a base getting farted up here by 1, but 3 members of Fnatic, they're onto the towers. They might just be looking to close this game out. The death timers are long. Sendo's back in with the rest of his team. He's got Taxa, he's got Kasing to work with. The tower's going to go down. Sendo trying to jump forward, trying to get the kill. They knock down Xmadi. He's stunned, he's shut down. That's going to be the gnar back into the wall. And XL hold onto their base. A double kill picked up for Sendo, and they have an open Nexus to deal with. It's dangerous, it's scary, but XL are now going to run up with the rest of their team and try and take out the base, try and take a potential win here. There's a teleport for Magifelix, there's a teleport for Xmadi. Can they find that flank? Can they find that backdoor?
Yeah, looks like XL might actually just look for the end themselves. There's still 10 seconds on NG, 20 seconds on Prospero, and 30 for Maddie and Shikari. They have that open inhibitor in the bot lane, but Magifelix was able to clear out the wave. So right now, I think XL will just take the inhibitor mid and then head over the Baron. NG's here to defend. They could go top, actually. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to get all 3 inhibitors. Tower is down from earlier. And
Kasing's jumped in. That's going to be Sendo. He's got Gnar. The Shurima shuffle sends Sendo packing. Kasing is low. The taunt goes wide. The Gnar back into the wall. Into the wallop. That's going to be the damage for Prosphere as he falls. 3 inhibitors are down. Look at the teleport, though. It's XMatty. He is barreling towards the base.
Just stop the
He's
recalls.
barreling towards the win. The recalls are being stopped. Sendo is basing up. XR with him. But XMatty is going to be onto the Nexus already. Taxa will go down. XMatty's onto the Nexus. The base race has been started as they chase for the kill. The feathers are going to be called. Can the wind will block him out? XMatty goes down. Shiana's onto the base. XL have done this with a backdoor save. The base is coming down by Hyanan just to BM Fnatic. They were called out last week by Prosphere and they bit back. Game 1, week 4. XL take the win and take the tower from Fnatic Rising. What a hype ending.
What a hype ending coming out from both sides, giving it all, and then Nexus exposed for both of them. XL will win this one out. Prosphere, nothing you can do in this situation, and a great read to get the recalls in and stop XMatty. It felt like Fnatic, they were grasping at straws towards the end of that game.
That was such a hype ending, man. I thought XMatty was going to do it, but 3 members just jump on him, blow him up so fast, so hard. And they were able to get the base back. And once again, we have a new team on the top of the tower.
You know what could have won that? So when Prosphere died, when they were at the Nexus, he had 2 wards in his inventory.
Yep.
If he placed one of them, Mai would have been so much closer on the TP, and they potentially could have sent him and Magi Felix for that TP play, and they possibly could have won that. And that's what's crazy, is that such a small decision could have actually impacted that entire game. It was a close one, but the thing is, it's not over this week for Fnatic. They will now go up against M&M in one of our first games of the day. In our second game of the day. Second game of the day. Well, 3rd in total, but 2nd of the round of 8. And they will have another chance to climb the tower and fight XL again.
The key thing about that, though, is if you actually look at last season, whenever XL or Fnatic lost a tower rematch, they were the weeks where they didn't make it out of the round of 8 because they physically seem just not to be able to handle the loss into a game. They have one game to kind of reset mentally before they have to take on M&M, who are, again, another incredible team. So for Fnatic, they need to make sure they can bounce back here.
Yeah, it's so rough for whichever team lost here, because now Fnatic, they face XL, they end up losing that one. They now have to place, which a lot of teams, well, I believe they are in 3rd place, but a lot of people said that M&M are the 3rd strongest team in the league. So you fought your arguable competitor for the #1 spot, and now you're facing the 3rd place team, and if you lose that, you're out for the whole week, so it would be a massive hit to them.
Would be a massive hit for them, but they are going to be knocked out as XL put themselves at the top of the tower for the beginning of week 4. We're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll be back with the round of 8, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.